Kapicic, thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me a new name.
I try my hardest.
Well, is doing okay, Colossus?
Yeah, gonna break our chair here?
Yeah, it's a small chair, but thank you all for coming.
Thank you guys.
Yeah. I have a new last name now, so let's see. I see a lot of Deadpools, so it's fun.
So I know none of you guys probably want to hear me talk anymore, butcher any other names. So why don't we just start it off with some questioning and
I think Deadpool has a
right here. We got a
question.
microphone. Awesome.
Why am I doing like two microphones?
It's for stereo effect.
Okay, yeah. We go with this one.
Oh, that one? Okay.
Like a politician.
So, do you like working for Deadpool, okay?
Sorry?
Do you like working with Deadpool?
Absolutely.
Me!
You!
You!
You. Yes. That was a good question.
Start to pick up
Of course.
Thank you, Deadpool, for
Thank
that.
you, Dan.
All right, any other questions? Got one right there in the back.
Spider-Man.
Yes. Are you looking forward to future movies?
Sorry?
Like, are you excited about like?
Of course I am. I'm excited because the next one is going to be X-Force. Then, but it's not a spoiler. You think it's a spoiler? Okay. And I'm really happy because in a way we're like joining the Marvel Universe. We're going back home. So, you know. Huh?
It feels good. Thanks, man.
It feels so good, man.
It's my heart, so it just feels nice to have it all under one roof.
Finally, because, you know, we were like separated.
We're gonna see more mutants in that house?
Yes, and you know, unfortunately Infinity War is already filmed and everything else, but it would be cool to see X-Men and Silver Surfer and Fantastic Four.
Oh, yes. Fantastic.
Yes!
Come on,
Come on,
Fantastic.
But I love
We
Silver
keep buying tickets for
Surfer,
those
yeah.
movies.
Maybe we're gonna do right this time.
I hope so. And the Fantastic Four.
And the thing. Well, he is the Fantastic.
Yeah.
I just hold my mouth shut now.
Thank you, Deadpool.
Testing. So with the last Deadpool movie, they made a big joke about how they didn't really have the budget or the funding to have all the other X-Men in the house, and they had the joke where you see them in the room as you pass by. Do you think with like X-Force and stuff like that, you're gonna see Disney accepting mixing Deadpool with some of the other cinematic universe, or do you think they're gonna still try and keep it a little separated?
I think there's like some legal thing. I'm not like really good with that. But,
Okay.
you know, there's like 2 or 3 years until that becomes official. So for the next 2 years or so, you're gonna see the same kind of thing. You know, Fox getting as much money as they can before they leave it to Disney.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think that X-Force, it's gonna be like still in like the Deadpool universe in that way, Deadpool
Absolutely.
genre. And I would love to see that. You know, just a little bit of
It'd be nice to see.
Spider-Man.
It'd be nice to see Disney embrace some of the more rated R materials that Deadpool and that universe puts out.
Absolutely. I'm hoping, well, you know, I think that there's like a bright future, an amazing future with all these guys coming together. So, me as a geek, as a fan, you know, for me, that's like, I don't really need to wait for that. I just want to see that. I want to watch that.
Right. Exactly.
And who knows, maybe go against Thanos in the future, or Galactus, or just to go
Who needs Guardians?
without
of the Galaxy?
snapping, huh?
So who needs Guardians when you have Deadpool?
Yes.
Well, I love it. Come on. They're awesome.
Or the X-Force.
I never liked the comic book though, but the movies are brilliant.
They are.
Well, I generally didn't love the Iron Man comic book, I have to admit that, but I love the movies.
Yeah, me too. I love them.
And there was like, yeah, vice versa things. Very, okay. Black Panther.
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing that Logan and Deadpool came out when they did before the deal came through, because it shows just how viable they are when you actually take more risk with the property. I was actually kind of wondering, I was very curious, how exactly did you kind of run into the, how did you actually get the role, and how was that? Was it just like a regular casting call, or did you like really just try to go for it, or?
You know, wow, that's a good question. The thing is, it was a regular call. I was in Europe at the time doing some play, and I got my agents at the time. They called me and they said, "There's like some top secret project called Wham. And I was like, yeah, well, maybe it's like a George Michael biopic or something.
Project Careless
Do
Whisper.
I really need to do that? And like, do I really want that? But I love George Michael. His music. So, and the name of the guy was Timur. So it was kind of a Russian thing, but it was like, okay, and I just got like a few sides in which there was that 4 or 5 moments monologue said by Timur, and he was not saying wait, he was saying George. So I did like, I self-taped myself, sent that back, and I was like, whatever, what's gonna happen, I don't know. So then I got the call back, and they said, can you change the names, and can you say Wade? And it was like, officially 20th Century Fox, so I was like, okay, something is going on, and I know they're filming Deadpool, and I have to be like a Russian, saying Wade, and I was like, oh my god, it's Colossus. So I did 140 takes, and I had to choose like just 4. So I like sent that to my girlfriend at the time, and like to my friends, and like we just tried to figure out to make 4. So my girlfriend, now my wife, she helped me, so we just sent 4. And then I just got a call, you need to fly in to Los Angeles. That was like the 3rd callback. So I went, to LA, came to 20th Century Fox, met with, Tim Miller and all the producers and everybody else, and I was like geeking out, and I was crazy. But you just have those few hours to do that thing. I did it, I gave my best. They said like, thank you, don't call us, we'll call you. I went back to Europe. And then in 7 days, it was like 3 in the morning, and I was, a little bit buzzed. I was in France, summer. So my manager was calling me from LA, and I didn't want to answer. Because I was buzzed, and I just sent a message, I'm sleeping. Mistake, and then he's like, well, you're not sleeping now, obviously. So I called him, and I was like, buzz guy trying to, act like a drunk guy, like a sleepy guy. He's like, stop pretending, man, you got the role, you're Colossus. I can't explain still how that felt, man. It's amazing. I just want to have my name in a movie that starts with those Marvel letters, and man, it's for a lot of actors, they're not into comic books. And I remember when I was like 5-year-old kid, I remember like buying DC and Marvel, and now I can be a part of that. So it's something that's not. It's like an Academy Award for my inner child. For me, it's even like bigger in that way.
I know that feeling. I got to meet some of my favorite voice actors. One of them in particular, I got to meet a year ago. Steve Bloom, who played Wolverine. He's still one of the best voices I've ever heard play. He's like the de facto voice of Wolverine for me. And let me just go ahead and go out my way and say your interpretation of Colossus is one of the closest that we have seen by far, and like Deadpool's like the closest I've ever actually felt to actually reading an X-Men comic besides like X-Men First Class, and it just felt so genuine, and actually I could tell it just came from a heartfelt place because I saw like Ryan Reynolds and TJ Miller and everybody who was involved with the cast just went out of their way just to try to make something that was as faithful and it's fun and just all around just an amazing just project to just create, and I could tell it paid off in dividends.
Well, thank you so much for that, and thank you guys for giving us the support. And without you guys, that would never be filmed. So Fox didn't want to do it. But one of the things that people forget is that there's a big thing regarding the first part, and Tim Miller, the director, who was the biggest geek I ever saw. When you come to his post-production studio, when you enter that, it's like 2 times this wall full of all comic books. This his own collection. So the point is, he wanted everything from the first part of Deadpool to be as much as comic accurate as it can be. So he didn't want Colossus to speak with any other accent that the Russian accent. He got me, and I'm like, every single actor, big actor would do that voice and get paid crazy or whatever, but everybody would love to do that. He was like, no, I just don't want anybody to pretend. I just want somebody from those parts, the world, and he gave me this chance, which is in a way getting a lottery. For me, it is. I'm telling you, I still cannot believe that I'm in that position. And on the other side, I was always on the other side, going to Comic Cons, buying things. Now I can be on both sides, and I meet all these guys. I'm like geeking out. When I met Mark Hamill, this guy walking, and I'm like, shaking. Man, we're like, come on, you behave, man. You know, I'm like, come on. Can you believe that? So for me, and everything I make in these comic cons, for example, I just spend, I give back. I'm just going buying comic books and art books, and you know, it's a beautiful thing, you know. It's just,
Painting your addiction.
yes. And I'm proud of my addiction. Totally.
I was in a position I'd be the same.
Bet you didn't screw up Mark Hamill's name.
And the funny thing is, I was before this crazy thing happened, I had like this, you know, it worked in my case. If you just really wish something, it really can happen. Really, it's not like a BS thing. Because before this, I was like, oh my God, that was a long time ago, but I was like, I want to be in a TV show for 24. And I was killed by Jack Bauer. Yeah, he killed me with an axe. So I'm proud that I died by his hand. And I was doing like one of like the best kills of Jake Bauer, and he killed a lot of people.
I'm looking for that scene now.
Yeah, it's a season 8, it's the first episode. Of course. You know those little numbers, you know.
Are you guys gonna blow up the X-Men mansion again?
Oh, blowing up houses builds characters.
You and Ryan Reynolds have great chemistry on the screen together. How much of the dialogue is riffing? How much is it actually scripted?
With Ryan Reynolds, we have this kind of basic scenario, but the dialogues are changing from minute to minute, you know. So in the end, like the editors had a lot of problems because they need to figure out what's funnier than what, you know. Because Ryan is so quick, so witty, and the guy's really incredible. And I have a lot of questions, you know, how he's working with Ryan Reynolds, and really I'm blessed in that way because he's not just like a great partner, but he's like so into the movie, and like anytime, even like when I don't need anybody of the actors to be with me, when I'm like doing the CGI, like facial expressions and then the lines, he's always there, and he's always giving his lines, he's always like, you know, giving me ideas. Okay, now let's do this, let's go, you know, this way. We were like working for like an hour and a half, like just on Colossus saying the F word. Because I had an issue with that. Why do yes, I know Deadpool is dying, but Colossus is such a, you know, old school superhero, he doesn't curse, and he would do this. But maybe, you know, then Ryan is like, okay, let's start with fudge. And I'm like, okay, that's too soft, you know, so we're like, you know, in the end we came with an F word. So it's just one of the things. So I'm telling you, like, it's 50-50. Maybe more.
So you sound like a really avid collector of comic books and that kind of thing. What's the pride and joy of your collection?
The giant size X-Men, 1975, the first appearance of Colossus, not horror in the store, but it's mint condition, and it was signed by Dave Cockrum, the original artist, who died in 2006, I think. So that's one of the things that, you know, I'm just so proud that I have, and it's a beautiful, you know, not just copy, it's a momentum, you know, especially playing Colossus and having, you know, that thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't meet Mr. Wayne, I don't know how to pronounce, like, I don't know how to pronounce my last name, so other people would understand. Len Wayne, yeah. Ween, yeah. So, but the thing is, I'm proud of that, you know.
That's awesome. It's a good thing to be proud of, for sure.
Question with the fourth wall breaking. Was it really hard to deal with someone that's doing the fourth wall break while still being set in the movie?
It's not, because, you know, when you work with Ryan Reynolds, you just know how he is. So you have to expect all those things and just focus on yourself and your role. And, you know, the Colossus is not breaking the fourth wall, so I'm inside. Whatever he does, you just don't see it in a way, you know. And thank God that I'm like an actor for a long time now, so I can focus and, you know, I had my bursts and like, you know, couldn't do the thing because I was laughing so hard. And you know, and on the other side, you can torture people. For example, there's like people asking me, what's funny? You know, the things that came into the movie, or like a lot of things are in the movie which were funny, like maybe like 95%, because you just keep it like, you know, rolling and just get it into the movie. But the funny thing was in the first part, the director Tim Miller couldn't like stand people puking. You know, there are people that emphasize like they if you puke, you know, they puke too. So in the first part, Colossus was doing like, especially in the end when he kills Ajax, if you remember, he goes like, why? So whenever I wanted like to experiment with something, you know, without the director being there, you know, I would just start like puking, and he needs to go out because he can puke. That was a funny thing. But you know, that's the Deadpool thing. You know, I just finished the TV show Better Call Saul, which I'm a huge fan of.
I know it's the shirt.
Yeah. So, but then, you know, this, even like this .com, well, how can I, like, it's Breaking Bad universe, I don't know how to put it like in the genre, but you don't have that freedom like you have it in Deadpool franchise. You can do whatever you want, you know, like really like let yourself go, and that's the beauty of Deadpool, and as a character and as, of course, as a movie.
If you had the ability to turn yourself to metal, would you use it?
Is that a question? Of course. Ask me something else. But that was a good question, though. I would, of course. Because I think, in a way, Colossus is the original Man of Steel. In a way. Superman is the Man of Steel. Come on.
Could I get you to say the Lannisters send their regards in the Colossus voice?
To what?
Could I get you to say the Lannisters send their regards in the Colossus voice?
Oh. You have to say action. Dear Lannisters, greetings from Colossus. And I really don't know what to tell you because I'm from a different universe, but I greet you. I don't like you, but I greet you. You're bad boys. I never did this, so yeah. Why do you think Lannisters would be interested in Colossus talking to them and greet them? Are you sending that to some Lannisters? Oh, fun.
Hey, sorry, I just wanted to say when I was roller skating as a kid, my favorite arcade game was with Colossus.
Yeah, with Aurora, yeah.
Even over Mortal Kombat.
I did that thing when you watched the movie, you know, when Colossus, you know, turns to Juggernaut. We tried to kind of do that in a way that kind of roar from the game, from the arcade game. But that's like mythology thing.
We need a big guy, man. We always pick you.
What?
We need a big guy in the game, so we always pick you.
Of course. I'll pick you myself in the Marvel Contest of Champions.
Marvel vs. Capcom.
What?
What about Marvel vs. Capcom 2?
Good. That's good. I love those games. I love Street Fighter, but yeah, I'm kind of older than a lot of you guys, so I played like the Commodore 64, you know, when you put like those tapes, and, you know, Green Beret, and fun. Some of you guys, yeah, would have that, and somebody that just didn't even know like game for like the tapes, which still kind of, you know, makes me question myself. Did I really do that? Put like a tape and then play the game? And forget about it. Okay.
Yeah, so as we all know, there are many great fictional giant Russians. Another one being Ivan Drago from Rocky IV.
Oh, yes.
So, if you will, can you please just say, I must break you.
I will. I must break you. You know what? I remember just said that, like, people are sometimes asking me what's my favorite line, and Colossus, like, almost like every single line is like, you know, unbelievable in so many ways. Even like he was like a battle, and you know, I love breakfast is the most important meal of the day. People are like, okay, but that's Colossus, and I love that. But then again, one of my biggest dreams is to have that I can have a chance to say, pick on someone your own size. Come on, guys, it's not like a cavalry kind of thing, you know. Or it's time to fight dirty. And they fight dirty in so many ways. Talking about cable.
So in the movies, Colossus tries to be a fatherly figure to Deadpool quite often. But do you think you could tell me your best dad joke in the Colossus voice?
Dad joke. Usually a bad pun.
That I wanted to say, or like, I kind of don't get it. I'm just slow because I'm tired, so I apologize.
Usually the joke is that dads have bad jokes and they're usually really bad puns.
Okay.
Usually it's like, Dad, I'm tired. And then he says, hello, tired, I'm Dad.
I think that's a perfect one. So I'm just gonna like. I'm gonna get.
I can say, Dad, I'm tired. Is it okay if I get in on this too? I'll say, Dad, I'm tired. And then you say, hello, tired, I'm Dad. Dad, I'm tired.
Hello, tired. I'm dead. Short movie.
It's true that so many actors and actresses that play in sci-fi don't actually like sci-fi. Do you have any really great moments of times when you've met another actor and been like, hey, we're geeks. This is good.
I can't like. I think that's not because my English is not my first language, but I think something in the resume I cannot understand. Yeah, just because I'm losing some parts of the question, so I apologize.
Do I have to say it again?
Yeah. Just the last one.
Okay.
Yeah, I know about sci-fi thing, and I think that's totally true.
Yeah, so
I know lots of actors that are like superheroes and they don't really care about that and they just never were into comic things, it's just a role for them. So that's the first part of the question?
yes. So do you have any favorite moments where you met another actor and was like, yes, we're both geeks, we both like this kind of
Absolutely,
stuff?
and first of all, that's Ed Skrein that played Ajax. He's a maniac, like total maniac for comic books. Ryan is a big one, not as big as Ed, or you know, it's well, a lot of them are. Tim Miller, as I said, but Ed Skrein is number one with that. Like he knows every single thing, and I went to London MCM Comic Con and I saw him disguised because I know that he was there, so he was like he was disguised buying comic books and things, and he's so into that it's unbelievable, and we are geeks and we're proud of that. Oh, hello. How are you? Welcome. I'm good. I'm welcome. Just hanging around having drinks and waiting. You're late, by the way. What did you do? Okay. Huh? You met Jake the dog? Joe DiMaggio. I feel like Jack the dog. So I missed that one.
We got another question over here, right?
Imagining that we don't know X-Force is coming in the future, does Colossus survive Thanos' snap?
Well, I said yes, like a few months ago, I answered yes, he survives. But I think he survived in a way, but it's a question of destiny. I would like Colossus to have a chance just to go against Thanos. Just to go. Well, I think the guy who snaps. Oh, wait, okay. No, it's still like, he's a titan. I don't know. I'm cheering for Colossus.
Are you actually from Russia or some other Eastern country?
I'm from, yes, I'm not originally from Russia. I'm from a little country called Montenegro, and that's ex-Yugoslavia, which is Central Europe. It's Croatia, Serbia, Bosnia, and so on, and we are Slavic. And our language is really, really close with Russian. But then again, I was born in Germany, and I live in the States. So generally, I really don't even know. No, yeah, you just. But you know, my language, and I'm supposed to talk like this. My dad talked like this, and you know, we have this hard kind of a accent, which is really maybe Russian sometimes. They go more cultural, but you know, if you would speak like this, you know, that would be maybe like not that nice to listen to. You know? It goes like little songs. Anyway, I don't know why I'm saying this. I'm tired. I apologize. You guys are so awesome, so I feel like I'm home, and it's beautiful. No, I'm really glad that you do that. Are you feel it, or you just?
Yeah, like
okay, I thought it was.
I'm glad we inspired you.
Yes.
That's what our next job is for.
Of course, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. This Deadpool is staring at me in a really weird way. No, really, you know, like it's like. I can see his face.
I think he wants one of those hugs where he grabs you from behind.
Oh, we have that.
We got a question over here.
So what is your favorite part about playing Colossus, and do you share any values that he has?
Well, with love, you know, I can say I'm like totally, my soul totally is Colossus, but you know, he's like the old school superhero. He's like a role model for a human. He's like an old, yeah, he's in a way like the Marvel's response to Superman, maybe more to like a Red Sun kind of thing, but yeah, still Superman. I think that everybody should share the same values as Colossus, because, you know, he's the guy who will always sacrifice for the team. He's the guy who, you know, is the perfect man in so many ways. And the whole thing regarding like playing that kind of, I'm from, as I said, from Eastern Central Europe, so for me there are like not too many, you know, characters that I could ever play in the Marvel Universe. And having the chance to portray such a specific, perfect, iconic X-Men, if I may say, such a pure superhero is unbelievable. It's beautiful. Because the alternative that I can play in my life on the other side, and I cannot even wish to do that, is Kraven the Hunter. And I think that kind of was in my little bulk, and they're doing the movie, right? Well, developing the movie. But to go back to that, like, you know, having a chance to play somebody like that amazing, and there were some talks about like me, you know, I'm supposed to be like in a human form Colossus before he transforms, and there are like some talks which I knocking in the wood, and plus we have like Ileana Magic. And we're gonna see her in the New Mutants coming out next year. My sister, Colossus' sister, of course. So I don't know. Maybe, you know, we're gonna have like a little origin story. You know, the whole thing about Colossus is so beautiful, and you know, I'm so proud and honored that I have a chance to you know, be this character. Are you okay with it? Like with the selfie, you know? Are you okay with it? You know, selfie. We're good.
Okay, so you kind of answered my question, but obviously you have the role of Colossus in the future of Deadpool and any kind of crossover that happens, but has there been any talks with like X-Men as their own individual project to bring you in, or to bring Colossus in to the X-Men world?
I'm thinking, should I kill the NDA? Yeah. No, there are some like really exciting things that are developing right now. You can do research. No, I'm talking about but there are like some interesting things.
I'm supposed to be reading it. It's on the dark web.
Yeah.
I know we've touched on the Marvel bringing everything together, but taking into account actor as well as character, who would you like to play, screen with, who you haven't on the other side of the Marvel spectrum?
Well, it would be stupid, I say, with everyone, so I have to choose. I think I would like to see. You mean by like characters or actors?
Well, taking into account both.
I would just like to see, for example, how would Thor, Colossus, and Captain America, like proper guys in so many ways, their discussion. And like, I would love to see Deadpool coming into that. I just think, with asking them questions or like doing like those crazy things, and I would like a friendly fight between Colossus and Hulk. There's so many things that I want to see.
Right.
I want to feel. I want to it's my childhood. It's something that they took from us, and they're giving it back, which I'm really happy. Even like the Fox was awesome in so many ways, and they made Deadpool and Logan. But then again, I just want to see, them all together like DC did, but unfortunately, yeah. But I love DC comic books. Don't get me wrong. But I've seen the movies. Somebody want to go against me? I'm good with it. Not that hard.
Yeah, I don't know if the Viking cast. Hopefully, we could get this to them. But you would make a perfect Viking for the new television. They casted you, man. You would really push the ratings up. I believe in you.
Viking?
The Vikings, the television show.
Yeah.
You'd be perfect. Man, you'd be perfect for that show.
Man, I would love to be doing something. There's something coming on Netflix next year. It's going to start filming, and it's the Vikings, but it's something on a path of Game of Thrones. I just cannot say, but it's going to be insane, and I think I'm going to be that because I feel really bad that I never had like a chance to go for Game of Thrones because I'm a huge fan of the show. I did, as a matter of fact, but like it was like for the first season, and I went for the role of Khal Drogo, and come on, they're chasing him a lot, and I'm like, come on, that's the only one. So, yeah, but thank you, I would love that. I love like beards and blood and swords.
You wouldn't have said that DC joke if Jason Momoa was in your
Okay, I said he's perfect Khal Drogo. I'm not talking about Aquaman. And honestly, because I don't like, because for me, Aquaman was like a blonde guy, how I looked when I was original, this is like Khal Drogo that swims, and it looks awesome. Absolutely. I love Ben Affleck like as a what? Come on. It's Batman. A Lego suit Superman, come on. It's Christopher Reeve. This guy is an amazing actor, but this Superman is beautiful when you see him. But when he starts acting, see that in Superman. Come on, you guys saw it. Come on, I'm not the only one. So, it's just something with kind of those mustache thing.
If you play a DC character, who would it be?
Lobo. Lobo, or even like just give a voice to, I don't know, Demon Etrigan, He-Man.
Oh, Demon Etrigan would be cool as fuck.
Beautiful universe. I don't know what's happening. But I think that Shazam is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Shazam. I really think it's going to be awesome.
So, if you could team up with one X-Men character, who would it be?
X-Men? Festival Special. Yes. With Wolverine. Come on. We never saw that generally, which I'm praying we're going to see. Wolverine kind of in the Colossus. Come on. And I know in the parallel universe is what happens. So you know. Okay.
So to tag on to that last question with Wolverine and whatnot, say something happens and you don't get in a fight over Thanksgiving dinner. Can Wolverine's claws pierce your metal skin?
Yeah. What?
Would Wolverine be able to like get through your
Yes.
skin? Okay.
Yes.
It's that immune, so.
Of course.
Okay.
Colossus would sacrifice. He would make clothes for me. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, but yes. But that will not happen because X-Men, Brothers and Mutant and Prowl. No. Doctor Strange has a question.
Yeah. So going with the whole Wolverine thing, I know like Hugh Jackman said he's done. Who would be your Wolverine after him? Because he's all our Wolverine.
The guy that I thought that I would love to see as Wolverine, he's now playing Venom, Tom Hardy. I think he would be perfect in so many ways, but I think that he's going to be perfect as Eddie Brock, so I like the trailer, but I heard they're still deciding is Venom going to be PG-13 or R-rated, so I think that Venom needs to be R-rated. Yeah, because like Deadpool, if it was PG-13, nobody would watch that. Deadpool with so that's the same thing I think. But still, Tom Hardy was like a first choice for me. But I don't know. There's like so many. What do you think? Who would you like to see?
I think Hugh Jackman's still got it. I think deep down he's like, I'm done.
Said, yeah. There's Waldo. No, just put it. I'm going to continue. I apologize.
Waldo would be a great. I don't know who's not already taken out there already to be a good replacement for Wolverine.
Do you have any idea? Yeah. Anybody? Maybe somebody can get.
What about Jason Statham?
Actually.
Yeah, he's got the hair for it.
Scotty Eastwood.
Who?
Scotty Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's son.
No.
What about Jason Statham? Jason Statham. Yeah.
Let's stop for a second. I think the hair can be done. Yeah. So that's an interesting thing.
He's got the build and he can do the moves.
Please acquire.
And he's small.
Yeah, he's short.
Yeah, but
like a taped on mask or something.
I don't know. We'll see because Wolverine is Wolverine. Come on.
I think we got time for a couple.
No, I want to stay here forever. And I'm not joking. I love this. So, no, really, you guys are awesome. Yeah, really. I'm not like saying this. I feel so comfortable. I think that she's angry a little bit. I don't know. Oh, because you're in Wonder Woman. Sure. I said I love DC. I even liked Wonder Woman. Yeah. I love Gadot. So, sorry?
I agree with you with the other.
Yeah. I'm not a great fan of Netflix Marvel shows. I love Punisher because that's one of my favorite characters of all time, and I like that show. I don't know. I don't know if it's. I don't know. People like that. Yeah. I don't see it like that. Okay.
That was it. Yeah.
I was gonna. Cage is Luke Cage. Cage looks amazing. I love the first. I haven't seen the second season. Daredevil is good.
Luke Cage Colossus.
Luke Cage. Yeah. You know the thing for the first season of Luke Cage, I loved it until Marshall Ali died. I don't know why they did put like that other guy.
Diamondback?
I don't think that was needed.
He was such a generic villain, and it really just kind of took away from the dynamic that Cottonmouth had with
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, I was just like, why? I have to watch this. Why didn't I stop? Yeah.
That's literally David Tennant. He does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Also, the hat is just so unique.
Ooh, do you have a question? Oh, we have one there and one here. Okay, so let's go here.
So do you think being in a movie like Deadpool that's rated R and so funny, that allows you to, I mean, you can have really bold opinions and get away with it because you get away with Deadpool. Is that like really freeing as an actor?
Is that like really
freeing? Like it, you know, a lot of actors have to like play nice when they're talking about like the DC movies, but you're in Deadpool, you can get away with saying whatever you want.
For me, when people ask me what's your favorite scene from Deadpool, it's when Cable and Deadpool clash and he's asking him who are you, and he's like, I'm Batman. I didn't know that's because all of us just have like the part of the scripts where we are, so we don't know what's gonna happen. I was laughing like crazy because it's just like a sentence, but it's Deadpool, it's Marvel, and he said like, I'm Batman. Or the first time when you saw like, because it was in the trailer, so nobody was surprised with like, you're so dark, are you from DC universe? So it was like everything that only Deadpool, as you said, can do. And of course, me as playing Colossus, I was supposed like, not to swear, not to say, not to smoke, but then again, I'm in a Deadpool movie, so again, I put, spoiler alert, but you know how I defeated Juggernaut in the end, so yeah, so that happened in Deadpool universe, so, and it's free, of course, it's beautiful.
So you implied you had stuff coming out on Netflix. What other projects do you have that are coming out in the future?
Right now I have like Better Call Saul. After that I have a really cool, but show that's coming on Netflix this fall. Some things that just, the things that you can see right now is Better Call Saul, and well, I can't say which show. It's just, it comes in, of course, X-Force, which people know that it's coming. So those are the things that I can kind of say, confirm, because I don't want to lose the other ones, And trust me, you can. Like we're living in a weird time. And there was one more question I think from Twitch.
What's your hashtag?
My hashtag?
Twitter or which one? Yes, your
Twitter.
Twitter.
It's generally what I just call it Colossus. I can't because of, I just, they don't like me. And I'll put a lot of things.
Yeah, we have 20 seconds here. So I think we better actually, we're done. So,
well, guys, thank you so much. I really
thank you, everyone.